up, man? We chilling tonight. Hey. I need some music tonight, man.
Hey, man, where my radio, man?
Yeah.
Let's go. I need you to turn that up.
Jamming tonight.
Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah. When you're out, you in the hood, yeah. Turn on the radio. You and the car, turn on the radio.
Pull the way up like we in the club. Fly flashy, grown classy, still turn to the dub. Saturday mornings, no walk of shame, we fresh up. 950 Lounge, that's my guilty pleasure. I don't miss my favorite show, I put everything on hold. Work the baby, even the babysitter know. When 950 come on, don't bother. I'm locked in 10 to 1, no problem.
Turn on the radio. You and I turn on the radio. Yeah.
Back on the ride, 950 Lounge, Saturday afternoon. It's been a great show, man. Had a lot of great individuals,
yes.
A lot of young people doing some amazing things, and that doesn't stop now. We got a young brother here. He's a little bit older. He can drink. You know, he ain't as young as them.
I'm only 18. Stop lying.
But he hails from Jersey City, New Jersey. Artist, rapper extraordinaire, my man, Pressure. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Thank you for coming up. We're good? Oh, yeah, he's a little high. He only that high. Okay, cool. We missing your face there.
Okay.
But thanks for coming up, man. I kind of want to jump right into it. You know, you're a young artist with a nice, unique sound coming from Jersey. Talk about the Jersey City influence. New Jersey, North Jersey in general. When we go back to, the Redmans and the Through It Alls, and even Joe Button, Jersey City. Talk about the influence you experienced growing up in Jersey and into your rap world.
Jersey is different, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very different. From, like you said, going back to Naughty all the way up to even Fetty Wap, up to what's going on right now.
Yes.
Jersey has a big influence on me, especially when it comes to lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
We make our little catchy songs here and there, but as far as the importance of the core of a song, as far as bars and creative content,
right?
I definitely was highly influenced by that coming up.
No doubt. Born in Woods Projects.
Yeah, Kerry Woods.
Woods Projects. A young man in the mid '90s, early '90s. You grew up around some things that, could be perceived as not positive.
We all grew up around.
But this is not about you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Talk about that influence growing up in Jersey, not music related, just in life related, and how, because when I heard your music, you have some balance of life. It's not just you just spitting hooks. You have some balance. Talk about that balance and how that made you the young man you are today.
One thing about me, I definitely believe in being your own man, period.
Mm-hmm.
To an extent, you can be a product of your environment, but at the same time, with life, it comes with choices.
Right.
And I never really fell short to, what the environment provided for me. Like, I had the same story like everyone else as far as single parent, father in and out of jail and all that. But, like I said, I always go back to choices. If you find something you want to do, it's up to you whether or not if you want to be positive and continue your life and put it in a good direction.
You know what's good and bad.
Yeah, because when you're a young black man, you're already you're labeled.
Yeah.
Regardless, when you're coming from the environment that I come from. But like I said, man, it's always up to you. I never I know how to dip and dodge. You know, I know how to be around and amongst it. I also know how to isolate myself from.
Well, it comes across very, very eloquently. Just, I mean, again, we've been talking for a few minutes, and it comes across just from your presentation, and that's always half the battle. When I read your bio of artists that you kind of emulate or have respect for, it's a lot of older artists.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
when it comes to that, is it safe to say your rap skills or your rap homage comes from that mid to early '90s genre of artists?
Definitely, yeah.
And was that just what was being played in the house, or did you find your own way? You know, if hip hop, we just had some guys up here that run the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and we talked to them about today's music compared to the younger artists today, and compared to the older artists of yesterday. And if they would have met you, I think they would have felt good about walking out of here because they could say it's a young guy who knows about his history.
Right. I mean, as far as in my household, my mother was playing Stephanie Mills, Tony Braxton. You know how it is on
Mama
Saturday.
R&B. Saturday morning clean up. With the
Yeah,
broom,
yeah. So you know how it is on Saturdays. You know, you clean up. I heard more R&B coming up. And the balance of how hip hop was introduced to me was through my uncle. You know, R.I.P. my uncle Pistol.
Right.
He used to take me on trips in the summertime down to Maryland, and he used to have like DJ Clue mixtapes. This when Lloyd Banks got hot. This was like 03, 04. Yeah, so he's playing classic music. So it was the balance, and I was like, yo, like I like that rhythm and all that, and you know, like understanding what punchlines was and all that. I was fascinated by it, and I was like, yeah, I like that style. So that's how it really came about, though. It was really like my uncle and my mom's that gave me that R&B and hip hop world.
Well, it wasn't no Ray Charles, right? Tell me what I say.
Oh, Lord.
Nah, you got to go to Grandma's house, but on Sunday to get that.
Pressure, you want to put some pressure on that eye.
When you start putting pen to paper, when you start putting paper to the pen, you start writing everything down, or you memorizing it, when did you start?
I started doing poetry first back when I was like 9, 10, and I recorded my first song ever. This one, Floppy Disk, was still relevant.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
like 5?
You know, 5, I'd be like 6, 7 at that time.
Yeah, I was 11. It was faded, you know what I mean? But the studio I was at, you know, had.
What girl you was writing poetry to? I know you was writing to somebody.
Nah.
She broke your heart.
Oh, she got a little shy here.
Got him.
Still got that effect on him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's really where that stemmed from. But yeah, I was young though when I started writing. It took me a while to start recording, and then I started doing my own production about like 14.
Yeah.
Wow. You got serious like at age 14, 15?
Yeah, that's when I started moving around and doing features with familiar artists in the industry. Yeah, that's when I first touched down when I was 14.
Have you, and again, as a 14-year-old and you're working with grown men, successful grown men in the industry, it's got to be a feeling that, you know what, I'm beyond my years. Have you ever felt yourself as being a rap prodigy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, dive into that for me, because again, most prodigies know they're a prodigy, just they can't say they're a prodigy.
Yeah.
So when people know, when you say to yourself, "Wow, you know what, this is not the norm." You know, 14-year-olds are still finding their way through, freshmen in high school, what have you. But I'm making music. I'm making quality music, and I'm making music with artists. How does that make you feel from a standpoint of like, this is not norm? I don't really have many people I can vibe off to say, hey, you know how I'm feeling right now? So how did you get through that?
It was different. I could say this. It was kind of inverse with how I interacted with my peers. Like I was dealing, like when I was 14, I was more like rocking in groups with 30, close to 40-year-old people that gave me that guidance off the rip. Then I started getting closer to my peers once I hit like 20. Like, it was kind of inverse for me, but it really was different. You know, what I say is it sharpened my tools. You know, I know you're familiar with Loaded Lux, Bad Rapper.
Yes.
Me and Loaded Lux did a record back when I was 15. And, you know, 32 bars, no hook or nothing. And I would say that it put me in the gym early. Like, I didn't have the time to do ABC rap. I was dealing with people that was, you know, like Ransom, with Joe Budden people. You know, I was in the mix early. And, you know, luckily I was fortunate enough to meet and come across people called Dream Team, Chop and Joe, a guy named Gil. They was, you know, putting me in these positions. And that's how I developed the skills to do directing because one of them was directing. You know, it was one of those situations.
All right,
Right,
man. Well,
yeah.
the thing is that you basically got a crash course from the OGs, and then you took that knowledge and you restored it to your ability and took it to the young people.
Yeah.
And I think that's good. 'Cause we had some the hip hop
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, and they did say that it's good when the young people do reach out. You know, and you did reach out, so that's
Yeah, like, definitely. I never was scared to ask a question.
Yeah, you
I
ain't on that high chair like
Yeah,
you too old.
Nah, I never. Nah,
I'm
I
glad you
never.
can talk to me, brother. Cause
Yeah,
He old.
I
Yeah,
definitely
he
old.
old.
He
He
old
old.
though. He old though. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Yeah,
like,
he
prehistoric
does.
almost.
Nah, that ain't that old.
Yes, it is.
Look at the
Look.
back of his teeth. That's tell you right there.
See if you can find his eyebrows. They extinct.
Listen, Fresh, we got a few minutes left, man, and I thank you for coming up. And we got so many other portals happening. I'm gonna definitely meet you tomorrow and get you involved with that. But before we get out of here, what's the next step for you? I mean, you're 22, but you're like in music age, you're probably 30. If it's safe to say, not
I know
making you
exactly
old,
what you're saying.
but
I know exactly
from
what
a
you're saying.
standpoint, what's the next step for you? Where do you see yourself going now that you've worked, you kind of interned, you've made that
Right.
happen. Now you're giving out the orders. What's the next step for you in the music career?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely put in a lot of groundwork. At this point, you know, it's going to the next platform, such as like the BT Cypher. You know, I'm banking on Summer Jam. It's about making that hit now to put me on the platform further than doing open mics and underground stuff.
That's
You know, I put in that time for a lot of years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So now it's just, you know, like I said, those bigger networks and connecting with the hip hop crowd on a different scale.
You got the song I sent you, Rashad? It's an email there. We're gonna end the show with your song, Oh No.
Okay.
We've been promoting that a little bit on our social medias. Give us a little bit about that song.
Oh no, well, going back to what he was saying, that was one of the records that I actually created freestyling.
Right.
That record, I got the beat, got into the zone, and next thing you know, I just started freestyling little things here and there, and it was just one of those
I thought it
records.
was about a girl. Oh no.
real quick, we got about a minute left. Give your social media information if people can reach out to you for bookings, just to conversate, you know, what have you.
Yeah, y'all definitely want to follow me. Y'all can check me out on my website at pressureonline.com. My Instagram is at pressureonline. Everything really you can check out. Pressure Online is one word. Go on Google, type in Pressure Online.
And let's definitely have you back, man, because you know we just kind of touched the surface today. And respect to Marvin and the team over there and with your label, we're gonna have you back and talk a little bit more because I think there's so much more that you can give, and there's so many more layers I think we can cross over between music and life. So we'll definitely have you back soon in the next month or so, and we'll continue this conversation.
All right, appreciate it.